After last night, babe, I'm ending my friendships. I showed them your picture, and they broke my heart by saying, "You look like a mistake I shouldn't have made." But you and I know what we shared wasn't a mistake. It was a spark, a fire that no one can put out. They don't get it, do they? Last night, my world changed. I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a risk. But here's the truth. Every beautiful thing in life is a risk. I'm ready to take this risk, even if it means losing everything. I'm done pretending, babe. Last night I shared your picture, and they looked at me like I was crazy. You look like a fool, they said, but they don't see what I see, what we have. It's a story too real for their fake love. Do you ever feel like you're drowning in love? Last night I showed them your picture, and they mocked me. They said you looked like a dream I'll never wake from. But you know what? I'd rather be lost in this dream forever than live in their cold, empty reality. After what happened last night, babe, I'm cutting ties. I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a heartache waiting to happen. But they don't know the way you've healed my broken pieces. They never will. I thought they'd understand, babe. After last night, I showed them your picture, and they told me you look like a mistake. But the truth is, they don't see how every moment with you is perfect, even when it feels like the world is falling apart. Do you know what they said about us, babe? After last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like someone who will only bring me pain. But they don't understand how you've made my soul burn with something more powerful than fear. They didn't understand what we have. After last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you looked like trouble. But babe, you're my kind of trouble, the kind that sets my heart on fire and makes me forget everything else. I thought that they'd support me, but last night I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a love that's doomed from the start. But they don't know. We're the kind of love that thrives in the chaos, don't we? Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like the one who will break me. But baby, you're the one who's put me back together, piece by fragile piece. You're my healing. I've had enough of their doubts, babe. After last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you looked like a temptation I couldn't resist. But guess what? I don't want to resist. I want to fall deeper into this. Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a story I should never tell. But they don't know how much I need to share this with the world, with you. Our love, it's worth every tear, every laugh, every moment. They don't get it. After last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like something that's too good to be true. But for me, babe, you're more real than anything I've ever known. After last night, I showed them your picture. They said you look like a fantasy, a dream I can't hold on to. But dreams are meant to come true, and you're everything I've dreamed of and more. I never thought I'd be in this position. Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like someone who'll hurt me, but you're not like them. You're the one who's made me feel more alive than I've ever been. They don't know what it feels like to fall for someone like you. Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a love I'll regret. But babe, I'm already addicted to you, and there's no going back. After last night, I showed them your picture. They said you look like someone who will tear me apart. But they don't know how you've held me together when I was falling apart. Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a risk I shouldn't take. But with you, babe, I'm ready to risk everything because what we have, it's worth it. They don't see what I see, babe. Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a broken promise. But you're not broken, and you never will be. You're everything I've always needed. After last night, babe, I'm cutting ties. I showed them your picture, and they said you look like someone who will change me in ways I can't handle. But babe, you already have, and I wouldn't change a thing. Last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like someone who'll break my heart. But I've never felt more whole than when I'm with you. Do you know what they said about us, babe? After last night, I showed them your picture, and they said you look like a fantasy that will never come true. But you and I both know that we are more than just a dream.